This story is offered as a record of a specific atmosphere. It does not seek to explain the decade, nor does it attempt to romanticize it. It observes the phenomena of a tactile childhood, the weight of machines, the tension of magnetic tape, and the early practice of autonomy. What follows is not a diary. It is not a recollection of individuals. It is an act of observation, preserved. In the years between 1981 and 1983, summer was defined by the laws of physics and the endurance of plastic. For those born at the start of the previous decade, 10 years of age marked a transition. This story enters at the moment when the screen door closes, when the safety of the interior remains, but the mastery of the exterior begins. It begins in the heat of a July morning. The morning light settled over a yellowed backyard slide. A lawn sprinkler pivoted in a rhythmic, mechanical arc, striking the grass with a steady, percussive sound. Nearby, a red and blue machine sat on the wooden deck. It was a puzzle of stiff plastic joints and hidden hinges, waiting to be altered. The day did not start with a clock. It started with the movement of gears. A silver box of music was carried to the edge of the world. It was heavy with batteries, anchored by a steel handle that felt cold against the palm. The buttons clicked with the finality of a latch. When the tape began to spin, the air was filled with a low and steady magnetic hiss. The parents were shadows behind the glass. They were a harbor, but the child was the captain. The sun climbed until the driveway became a river of shimmering heat. A yellow ribbon of plastic was unrolled across the lawn, slick and expectant. Water was summoned from a green hose, turning the dry grass into a sudden, temporary marsh. The child ran with a desperate, joyful speed. Independence was found in the shock of cold water. When the water dried, a chrome bicycle was pulled from the shade. It was a machine of speed and reflection, its tires humming against the hot pavement. The child checked the chain and the brakes, the small mechanic of a great and silent machine. With a push of the pedal, the home began to shrink. The world was now as large as the child's legs were strong. At the corner where the neighborhood ended, a pack of riders gathered. Their bikes were leaned together like a pile of shining bones in the tall weeds. They spoke in the shorthand of 10-year-olds, masters of a secret, analog kingdom. A viewmaster was passed from hand to hand. They looked at the moon, and at cities of gold. The afternoon was a slow-moving dream of glowing arcade cabinets. In the dim light of a local shop, they fought digital wars with wooden joysticks. The thump-thump of the electronic pulse echoed the heartbeat of the player. Outside, the sun was a fierce and heavy weight. Inside, they were the masters of light and high scores. The journey home was slower, the bike chain clicking a weary song in the dust. The silver boombox on the porch was failing, the singer's voice deepening as the power died. The child sat on the steps and used a pencil to wind a loose ribbon of magnetic tape. It was a moment of quiet stewardship. The child learned that magical things required a steady hand. As the shadows grew long, the laboratory moved inside to the cool of the hallway. Orange tracks were snapped together, forming a bridge across the patterned rug. Metal cars were released from the heights, racing against the approaching evening. The child watched the physics of the loop. The house was no longer just a home, it was a site of discovery. The Transformers were returned to their vehicles, their secret identities tucked away. The bikes were moved to the garage, their chrome cooling in the purple twilight. The analog summer was a collection of heavy objects and mechanical triumphs. The child looked at the yard one last time. The world had been explored, measured, and mastered. The screen door opened, and the child stepped back into the warmth of the kitchen. The parents moved through the room, the silent anchors of the entire operation. Nothing was said of the miles traveled or the machines conquered in the heat. The freedom was a gift given in silence. The tape stopped with a final, mechanical clack. This story does not seek to define a generation. It observes the transition from the organic world to the mechanical one. Autonomy, when offered through trust and tactile play, becomes a form of knowledge. The tape stops. The mechanism clicks. The memory remains as a structural record. When the sun was long set, what remained was not just the toys, but the quiet confidence of a world navigated alone. This audio-visual record serves as a structural entry in the Phenomena of Life series. It documents the transition from childhood dependence to early autonomy, specifically examining the tactile and mechanical environment of the years 1981 to 1983. Entry focus: the distinction between digital convenience and analog mastery. The 70/30 balance of parental anchorage and independent discovery. The material culture of the 1971 to 1973 birth cohort, Transformers, magnetic tape, chrome-plated freedom. This record is preserved to demonstrate that autonomy is a skill practiced through the physical world. This is an author-absent observation of a generational frequency, intended for Red Cardinal Kitchen, the illumination of a dynamic archive. Thank you for spending time with this entry.